All right, guys, how is everybody doing? We are going to make a video about the Cotton Bowl. And it was a forgettable Cotton Bowl. I've never seen Ohio State's offense look that anemic. I know that Marvin Harrison out of the game, Fleming. So I know that they're missing wide receivers and quarterbacks. And Devin Brown ends up getting injured. Again, lifeless, terrible offensive performance. So Ryan Day now, his calling card is offense. I know that he wants to make the team tougher and be more, I guess, like a Michigan. However, I would say that Ryan Day's strength was when they had Stroud and Fields. And they went toe-to-toe with Georgia last year, so that model was just about there. Even though they lost to Michigan up there in Michigan, or even though J.J. McCarthy had a brilliant second half, they improved the back end. And J.J. McCarthy, that was like an anomaly, that performance last year at Ohio State. It was just one bad half for Ohio State, and they overreacted, tried to put resources into the defense, which is fine, but again, weren't aggressive in the transfer portal market. And Ohio State, out of high school, they're out here battling for the top-end wide receivers like Tate, Noah Rogers from North Carolina, Jeremiah Smith. I guess Aaron Nolan is a pretty solid quarterback. He's accurate. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has all the intangibles. He does have the intangible of being, or the tangible, I should say, of being really accurate as a passer. But you look at Lincoln Keinholz, and he looks fine as a quarterback, but he didn't wow you with the talent that he now has. He's going to be a guy that's going to progress and get stronger and stronger, and when he's a junior, he's going to soar. The one thing about Keinholz is that three-sport athlete, just mentally, I love Lincoln Keinholz. You know, small-town South Dakota kid. Mentally, I love the kid. Was a star baseball, star football player, you know, held that town of South Dakota on his back, was the man there in South Dakota. So guys living a dream life, okay? Guys living the dream life. He is South Dakota. Everything about South Dakota is Lincoln Keinholz. But, you know, Washington recruited him, and now you see what Washington's doing in man. So, Devin Brown, he's decent in the intermediate game, but he's inaccurate. He's very inaccurate. The ball soars on him a lot. And in terms of arm strength, like you would expect from like the five-star, the deep ball kind of hangs a little bit. Meaning like he can't really throw it like 60 or 70. He throws it like 50. And I like his personality as well. He has some toughness about him. The number 33, though, I know he's trying to be different, but it's just bad luck. It doesn't look that great. It's not working. You know, Shea Patterson, I think, was like 20 at the college level. I know we're talking about the number, but the talent of Devin Brown, he's never unleashed the talent. Even against Western Kentucky and Youngstown, it just hasn't worked, and it's a shame because I think if he unleashed the talent, he had every chance to beat Kyle McCord. Because Kyle McCord is okay, but he doesn't have those tangibles that even Devin Brown, those talent traits that even you expect a 5-star in Devin Brown to have. And Devin Brown at high school he made piercing elite throws. Some throws were insane that he made at the high school level, but he doesn't throw the deep ball very well at all, and he's sailing the football, and he's late, and he's not getting in the rhythm, and throughout camp, he had every chance to beat McCord, and there's a reason that he didn't, beat McCord. Okay? It's disappointing. I don't know if it's Hartline calling the plays or Ryan Day. They're not creating easy access. Have teams figured them out? I mean, it's Missouri. I mean, look at a school like, I guess Louisville must be, I guess Missouri is a lot better than Louisville. But you look at Lincoln Riley, and you would compare, like, you'd say that the best play callers in college football are Lincoln Riley and then Ryan Day. Because Ryan Day had Fields, C.J. Stroud, they're putting up huge numbers. Listen, not every coach is going to get the most out of those quarterbacks, okay? I guess you could say you could put C.J. Stroud in Iowa City and he's going to play well. I think that Day is a brilliant play. I think he's a great play caller. He has misdirection. He has excitement. I know maybe we're looking into that they didn't have the wide receivers and we're maybe overreacting a little bit to the bowl game. But in a way, we're not, because now Ohio State is rumored to go out there and get Will Howard. And the real winner of that game was not only the Missouri Tigers, it's Will Howard's bank account. It's Will Howard. It's the Howard family out of Downingtown, PA. Because as Devin Brown and Lincoln Keinholz says, it was just slop on offense. And Ohio State football was nauseatingly Iowan to watch, as it was horrible. Will Howard's like, hey, I'm over here. I'm ready to come and be a stable quarterback that can even almost do as much as Kyle McCord. And it is funny. I heard a really good analogy from Joel Klatt as he was on the Next Round show, which is a great show out of Birmingham. He said that the transfer portal could be like beer goggles, meaning you have a couple drinks in you, and that girl at the bar, that chick at the bar, she starts to look better when you have those beer goggles. And that's what Will Howard, that's what yesterday was all about. So Ohio State needs to go out there and make a move. Ryan Day, right, the pressure of Ohio State, it doesn't seem like he's enjoying his job. Everybody's wound too tight at Ohio State. I know I just made a Penn State segment. It looks like Allert's the same way. It's fun at times to be in a really intense environment when it's not at 1,000,000% capacity of when it's not too intense. You don't want to be in an environment that has no structure and that has no intensity. But if it's wound up too tight, If it's too, I just think that Ohio State, McCord was able to do it and rise to that level of intensity. But that's why against Michigan plays looser, and Ohio State in the big moments is just is nervous, and it's because Ryan Day and the job, it's just the situation is just. It's really tough. I think that he does a really great job, but for Ryan Day, I don't know if in a couple of years are we going to say that he needs a change of scenery, because you see this happen to talented people and talented coaches that it doesn't work. Like for Sark at USC and Washington, for several reasons, it did not work. At USC with Lane Kiffin, with Lane Kiffin going to the Raiders, it did not work. And this is Ryan Day's like first year on the job. Things run their course. For Andy Reid in Philadelphia, he had some of the similar successes to Ryan Day, but he was not able to win the national title. And Ryan Day, you could say it was the COVID year. He did get to a national championship, although there were 20 people in the stands watching Mac Jones and Devontae Smith in Miami. He did beat Clemson. His record against the Big Ten is stellar. His offense is every single year with two different quarterbacks in a mobile C.J. Stroud and more of a pocket passing, accurate, Stroud and Fields. His offenses did roll. So it makes you think about Ryan Day. Is it like Carson Wentz when Nick Foles won the Super Bowl? You're dealing with human beings, and is the external things getting to Ryan Day and causing this Ohio State and Ryan Day marriage is the fans and all of the toxicity, is it getting to a talented coach? And is a change of scenery could happen in a year or two? I know it's crazy with the recruiting, but he's almost too a victim of his own success. I mean, because, again, what are you supposed to do in the profession? If I'm a coach looking for a job, I don't want to replace Urban Meyer, one of the greatest college football coaches of all time, a guy who was able to win a national championship at Ohio State, a guy who was able to have Ohio State in the biggest of games, a guy at Florida who won 2 national championships, who won 3 titles as a coach. I don't want to have to replace that. And now he was on Urban's staff and he took the job and it's a good pay job. But again, and then again, like them winning the Big Ten, them beating Michigan 3 years, Jim Harbaugh almost being fired from the job. Harbaugh was more experienced and weathered that storm. And Ryan Day right now, he's not on a hot seat, but is he enjoying coaching football? Your enjoyment, your morale is absolutely vital when we talk about performance from people. And again, I just think that Ohio State, I heard from people who've, been around the programs of Michigan and Ohio State. And the difference with Michigan this year with J.J. McCarthy and Jim Harbaugh, like they got past that obstacle of Ohio State. They're thinking, can we go win playoff games in national championship? Like we're going to, host Ohio State. We've beaten them the last couple of years. We'll be okay and we'll win the Big Ten. We're fine. Where Ohio State, everything is baked into beating the team up north or beating Michigan, beating the team up north. It's all about that game. Everything, the 10-0 is not even all that enjoyable at all. It's all about Michigan. You can respect how intense that game is, but it allows Michigan to play looser, like, we got this. Where Ohio State's like, this is everything. The 10 games didn't really mean anything. They were empty. They didn't enjoy them maybe as much as most. That's just my perception on the school. So now I think Will Howard can help. I think he's an obvious signee. Devin Brown gets hurt all the time. Keinholz is young. You need some stability. You have great wide receivers that are entering into their sophomore seasons. So I think it's very obvious that Will Howard to Ohio State is going to be a thing. And Miller Moss, his performance, that's the thing about bowls, is that they are important because you do see, some transfer portal battles and you do see some very interesting moving parts because Miller Moss's performance for USC, again, made them in the Will Howard sweepstakes. They took a step back and go, wow, we actually have a guy here. We actually might have a guy here that when the bright lights come on, he performs. Because, Brown and Keinholz and Miller Moss in practice are different quarterbacks. Like, when the lights come on, you learn everything. If you're around organized sports, there's guys who practice that are practice warriors. When the lights come on, you see who really rises.